So before I start this video, I want to give a quick shout out to the Fast Break Amino. If you guys love talking basketball, this is the place for you. The link will be at the top of my comments. So before I get started, I do want to list off a few players the Celtics didn't have last night. They didn't have Kyrie Irving, they didn't have Gordon Hayward, they didn't have Al Horford, and they didn't have Aaron Baines. So with that in mind, you would think a Pelicans team that has all their major pieces would be able to beat this watered down Celtics team, or at least keep the game competitive. Or at least that's what I thought. But before I take a deeper dive into my thoughts on this game, let's talk about the numbers. Final score of the game was 113-100 with Boston taking the win. For the Celtics, Marcus Morris had 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Jason Tatum had 21 points and 6 rebounds. And Jaylen Brown had 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. As a team, Boston shot 48% from the field, 30% from behind the three-point line, and 68% from the free throw line. Moving on to the Pelicans, Anthony Davis had 41 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Julius Randle had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists, and Tim Frazier had 8 points and 10 assists. As a team, the Pelicans shot 44% from the field, 30% from behind the three-point line, and 73% from the free throw line. Okay, so now you got the numbers. I want to give you my thoughts on the game, starting with the Celtics. And the first thing I noticed for Boston was that they moved the ball really well. They were able to find each other for some pretty good looks, especially near the rim. You would think with so much talent out, they might find themselves with some chemistry issues, but that definitely wasn't the case. Really says a lot about the depth of this team. The second thing I want to say for the Celtics is that they really out-hustled the Pelicans on the glass all night. They pulled down 51 rebounds compared to the Pelicans' 39, and on top of that, they had 14 offensive rebounds that turned into 17 second-chance points. Considering the Pelicans are normally one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA, and the Celtics are missing their second and fourth best rebounders, this is especially impressive. Although after watching the game last night, I am having a tough time saying whether the rebounding differential was due to the Pelicans' lack of effort or the Celtics' tenacity on the glass. The last thing I want to say about the Celtics was that they did find quite a bit of success with isolation plays last night. They were pretty much able to get into the paint and score at will. So those are all my thoughts on the Celtics. Let's move on to the Pelicans. And I just want to say the last 3 games that I've watched have all been Pelicans games, and they've had the same problems in each of them. The biggest of these issues is that they don't play defense, especially on the interior, and with Anthony Davis there, that's actually really surprising. During this game specifically though, they allowed the Celtics way too many uncontested wide open threes. The Celtics weren't necessarily hitting tonight, but the score should have been a lot worse. The other issue with the Pelicans for me is that they have some pretty serious depth problems that they need to address soon. Not many people on the Pelicans bench outside of Mirotic, who has been cold lately, can actually contribute to this team. I think if there's any team in the league that should be actively trying to trade for Ariza right now, it should be the Pelicans. They really need somebody that can contribute now, especially on the defensive end of the floor. I don't blame all their bench struggles on the players at all. I do believe that Alvin Gentry has to find a way to get his players more involved in the game. As tempting of a strategy as going to Anthony Davis and Julius Randle every time is, if you do that, it's hard to fault other players for never finding their rhythm because they never got opportunity. One last thing I want to mention about the Pelicans was that I thought the pace they played with last night was a lot slower than what I've seen in the last 2 games. But I think for the most part, we can blame this on this being the second game of a back-to-back. Alright though, those are all my thoughts on this game. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave me a like. If you enjoy NBA content in general, go ahead and subscribe to this NBA channel. And I'll see you guys next time.